The quantum arrays at Europa Research Station hummed their usual symphony when Dr. Sarah Chen noticed the first anomaly, a distortion in the quantum field, unlike anything their instruments had recorded before. She might have dismissed it as an equipment malfunction, if not for the way it moved. Purposeful, directed, almost like it was searching for something. "Control, are you seeing this?" Sarah's voice carried across the station's comm system. The response came back garbled, unusual for their typically crystal-clear communications. Commander James Rodriguez watched the main display with growing concern. 20 years of deep space research experience told him this wasn't natural. The distortion was approaching the station's main power core, following a deliberate path through their defensive screens like they weren't even there. "All personnel, this is not a drill. Initialize emergency protocols and prepare for possible hostile contact," Rodriguez announced, his calm voice masking the tension he felt. Humanity had searched for signs of intelligent life for centuries. Now it seemed intelligence had found them first. The station's lights flickered as the quantum distortion made contact with their outer hull. Dr. Chen's instruments went wild, recording energy signatures that defied known physics. Then, without warning, a section of the station's wall simply disappeared. In its place floated what could only be described as a probe, a sleek, crystalline structure that pulsed with internal light. "My God," Sarah whispered, "it's using quantum tunneling technology far beyond anything we've achieved." The probe emitted a burst of energy that swept through the station, every computer screen filled with strange, shifting symbols. The translation algorithms they'd developed for potential first contact scenarios crashed instantly. "It's not trying to communicate," Rodriguez realized with growing horror. "It's copying our database." Before anyone could react, the station's defense systems detected multiple incoming objects accelerating from the outer solar system. The probe had been a scout, and now the main force was arriving. Sarah's hands flew across her console, initiating a desperate transmission to Earth. "This is Europa Research Station. We are under attack by unknown entities with advanced quantum technology. They've breached our defenses and..." The transmission cut off as the first volley of enemy fire struck the station. The aliens hadn't come to talk. They'd come to test humanity's defenses, and apparently found them wanting. But they'd made a crucial mistake. They'd revealed their existence to a species that had spent its entire history preparing for threats, real or imagined. Humanity had dreamed up countless scenarios of alien invasion, created thousands of stories about first contact gone wrong, and developed contingency plans for everything from peaceful exchange to total war. As Europa Station burned, its quantum arrays picked up one final transmission from Earth, the activation of the Guardian Protocol. Humanity had always hoped first contact would be peaceful, but they had prepared for the alternative. Now those preparations would be put to the test. The probe's attack on Europa Station marked the beginning. But humanity would make sure it wasn't their end. As emergency beacons carried news of the attack across the solar system, humanity's response was already beginning. Ships that had been disguised as civilian vessels revealed hidden weapon systems. Secret military installations buried in asteroids powered up long-dormant defense grids. And in laboratories across Earth, researchers began adapting their theories about quantum tunneling into weapon designs. The aliens had struck first, but they would soon learn what countless human adversaries had discovered throughout history. Humanity was at its most dangerous when backed into a corner. Commander Rodriguez managed to seal off one section of the station, saving a handful of his crew. As they huddled in the emergency shelter, watching more alien ships appear on their remaining sensors, he sent one final message to Earth. "They think they've found our weakness. Show them our strength." The response that came back was simple. "Guardian Protocol activated. Hold position. Help is coming." As the aliens prepared for what they assumed would be a quick conquest of an inferior species, they had no way of knowing they had just awakened a sleeping giant. Humanity had spent millennia dreaming of the stars, but they had never forgotten the harsh lessons of their own history. Peace was preferable, but survival was paramount. The first strike had been made. Now it was humanity's turn to respond. Admiral Lisa Martinez stood in the Pentagon's Quantum Command Center, watching holographic displays track the alien fleet's movements through the solar system. The attackers had established a perimeter around Europa, using technology that bent space itself to create impenetrable barriers. But they hadn't advanced further inward toward Earth, yet. "Show me the analysis of their quantum tunneling technology again," she ordered. The holographic display shifted, showing the recorded data from Europa Station's final moments. Dr. Marcus Wong, Earth's leading quantum physicist, stepped forward. "Their tech is elegant but predictable," he explained, highlighting specific energy patterns. "They've mastered quantum tunneling, but they're using it in the most straightforward way possible. It's like they've never had to innovate beyond their initial discoveries. Because they've never faced serious opposition," Martinez realized. "Their technology is advanced, but their tactics are basic. They expect us to either surrender or try to match them head-on." "Then let's do neither," came a voice from the door. Dr. Sarah Chen walked in, still bearing the marks of her escape from Europa Station. She'd barely made it out on the last emergency shuttle, and she brought something invaluable with her: direct observations of the alien technology in action. The probe's quantum field had a distinct oscillation pattern, Sarah explained, pulling up her data. "They're using quantum entanglement for their barrier technology, but it's vulnerable to interference from properly tuned tachyon emissions." Marcus's eyes widened as he examined her findings. "If we modify our fusion drives to emit a specific tachyon frequency, we could destabilize their barriers," Martinez finished. "But we'd need to get close enough first." The next 12 hours saw humanity's industrial capacity kick into high gear. Factories that had been building civilian spacecraft were rapidly retooled to produce weapons and defensive systems. The Guardian Protocol had anticipated this need. Key facilities had maintained the capability to switch to military production at a moment's notice. In orbit, the civilian space fleet began to reveal its true nature. Ships that appeared to be simple cargo vessels ejected their false hulls, revealing sleek military vessels beneath. It was a contingency humanity had maintained since first venturing into space, a hidden defense fleet disguised as merchant ships. But humanity's real advantage lay not in its hidden military capabilities, but in its ability to improvise and adapt. In laboratories across the globe, scientists who had spent their careers working on theoretical physics were now applying their knowledge to practical military applications. Dr. Wong's team made the first breakthrough. They discovered that the aliens' quantum barriers operated on predictable frequencies. By analyzing the data from Europa Station, they developed a countermeasure, a device that could create localized quantum disruptions. "It's not elegant," Marcus admitted, showing the prototype to Admiral Martinez. "We're essentially creating controlled quantum chaos. Any civilization that developed quantum technology naturally would consider this approach barbaric." "Which is exactly why it might work," Martinez replied. "They won't expect us to use quantum mechanics this way. It would be like using a violin as a club." Sarah Chen had her own contribution. Working with military engineers, she developed a way to mask human ships from the aliens' quantum sensors. "They're looking for specific quantum signatures," she explained. "If we make our ships look like quantum noise, we can move almost invisibly through their detection grid." The aliens seemed content to hold their position around Europa, methodically analyzing the data they'd stolen from the research station. They showed no sign that they expected serious resistance from what they assumed was an inferior species. Their first hint that they had underestimated humanity came when their quantum sensors detected an unusual disturbance approaching their perimeter. It appeared to be nothing more than quantum static, the kind of natural phenomenon their sensors usually filtered out. But this static was moving with purpose, and it carried within it humanity's response to their aggression. The counterattack was about to begin, and it would teach the aliens a harsh lesson about the danger of judging a species by its apparent level of technology. As the disguised human ships approached the alien perimeter, Admiral Martinez sent a brief message to all commanders. Remember Europa. Show them what happens when humanity is pushed too far. The aliens were about to learn that sometimes the most dangerous opponent isn't the one with the most advanced technology. It's the one with the most reason to fight back and the most willingness to break the rules. Captain Maya Patel stood on the bridge of the TSS Phoenix, watching the alien fleet through quantum-filtered sensors. Her ship, along with 30 others, had been moving through the alien sensor grid for the past 6 hours, masked by Dr. Chen's quantum noise technology. The aliens hadn't detected them yet, but that was about to change. "All ships report ready," Lieutenant Carlos Rodriguez whispered, mindful of the tension on the bridge. It was an old habit from stealth operations, even though the aliens couldn't actually hear them through space. Maya nodded, her dark eyes fixed on the tactical display. The alien ships hung in space around Europa like crystalline sculptures, their quantum barriers creating beautiful but deadly patterns in space-time. 23 ships in total, each one technologically superior to anything humanity had built. Until now. "Begin Phoenix Protocol," Maya ordered. Throughout the hidden fleet, engineers initiated the quantum disruption devices. Dr. Wang's inelegant solution was about to be tested in combat. The first alien ship detected something wrong when its quantum barrier began to fluctuate. The disruption wasn't large, just a slight irregularity in the quantum field, but it was enough to draw attention. As the aliens diverted power to strengthen their barriers, the human fleet struck. The Phoenix led the charge, its modified fusion drive spewing a carefully calculated stream of tachyons. Where the particles struck the alien barriers, space-time itself seemed to shudder. Gaps appeared in the supposedly impenetrable defenses. "Multiple targets acquiring us," Carlos reported, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "They're attempting to adapt their barrier frequencies." Maya allowed herself a grim smile. Just as Dr. Chen predicted. Execute attack pattern Delta. The human fleet split into predetermined groups, each targeting specific alien vessels. The aliens responded with quantum-based weapons, trying to tunnel through the humans' hulls just as their probe had done at Europa Station. But the human ships were ready. "Quantum dispersion fields holding," the Phoenix's engineering chief reported. "Their weapons are hitting us, but the energy is being scattered harmlessly across our hulls." The aliens' primary advantage, their mastery of quantum mechanics, was being systematically neutralized by human ingenuity. But Maya knew they couldn't celebrate yet. The aliens still had superior numbers and raw power. This was just the beginning. "Second wave. Commence attack," she ordered. From behind Jupiter's largest moon, another fleet of ships appeared. These weren't disguised military vessels. They were mining ships, repurposed for war. Their massive excavation beams, normally used for asteroid mining, had been modified to emit concentrated tachyon bursts. The alien fleet found itself caught between two forces, their sophisticated quantum barriers crumbling under the combined assault. For the first time, they showed signs of confusion, their formations becoming erratic. "They're not used to adapting in combat," Maya realized. "Their technology is advanced, but their tactical thinking is rigid." The battle continued for hours, a deadly dance of quantum physics and human determination. The aliens' superior technology gradually began to degrade under the constant assault of human improvisation. Ships that had never been designed for combat were proving themselves in ways their builders had never imagined. But the aliens weren't defeated yet. As their quantum barriers failed, they revealed new weapons, beams of pure energy that could vaporize a ship instantly. 3 human vessels were lost in quick succession. "They're desperate," Maya observed. "They're abandoning their sophisticated quantum weapons for brute force attacks." She opened a channel to the fleet. "All ships, implement scatter protocol. Don't give them a stable target." The human fleet broke formation, each ship moving in seemingly random patterns while maintaining their coordinated attack. It was organized chaos, another concept the aliens seemed to struggle with. As the battle reached its peak, Maya received a priority transmission from Admiral Martinez. Phoenix Actual, we're detecting massive quantum fluctuations from the alien flagship. They're preparing something big. Maya watched as the alien flagship began to glow with impossible energy. Whatever they were planning, it would either turn the tide of battle or mark their final desperate act. Either way, humanity was ready to face it. All ships, she commanded, prepare for maximum disruption. Whatever they're planning, we stop it here. For Europa. The response came back strong and clear. For Europa. The true test of humanity's resolve was about to begin, and Maya Patil intended to show these aliens exactly why you should never corner a species that had spent its entire history overcoming impossible odds. The alien flagship's energy signature reached impossible levels as it prepared to unleash its ultimate weapon. Captain Maya Patil and her crew aboard the TSF Phoenix watched as reality itself seemed to bend around the massive crystalline vessel. Energy readings off the scale, Carlos reported, his instruments struggling to make sense of what they were seeing. They're creating some kind of quantum singularity. Through the quantum-filtered viewers, Maya could see space warping around the alien ship. It wasn't just bending space, it was tearing it apart. They're going to try to create a localized wormhole, she realized. They mean to remove us from existence itself. But something was wrong. The alien ship's quantum field wasn't stable. The massive energies they were channeling were fluctuating wildly, creating ripples of distortion that threatened to tear apart everything in their vicinity, including their own fleet. Dr. Sarah Chen's voice came through the command channel, urgent and clear. Captain, their quantum matrix is collapsing. They don't understand how their own technology interacts with human-generated tachyons. If that singularity forms, it'll create a cascade reaction that could destroy half the solar system. Maya made a decision that would change the course of the war. All ships, cease fire immediately. Switch all power to quantum stabilization fields. She opened a broad spectrum channel, broadcasting on all frequencies, including the alien quantum bands they'd decoded. This is Captain Maya Patil of the TSS Phoenix to alien flagship. Your quantum matrix is unstable. If you don't shut down your weapon immediately, you'll destroy us all. For several tense moments, there was no response. The alien flagship continued to build power, space continuing to distort around it. Then suddenly, a new signal appeared, different from any alien transmission they'd detected before. Help. Cannot control. Matrix failure. The broken message came through in heavily accented but recognizable English. Not weapon. Emergency protocol. Loss of control. Understanding dawned on Maya. They're not trying to attack us. Their systems are overloading, and they can't stop it. She turned to her crew. Get me Dr. Wong and Dr. Chen on a secure channel now. The two scientists appeared on her screen, and Maya quickly explained the situation. We need a way to help them stabilize their quantum matrix, or we're all dead. Their quantum technology is based on harmony, Dr. Wong said, his fingers flying over his console as he ran calculations. Our tachyon weapons disrupted that harmony more than we anticipated. They can't reestablish control. Then we help them find that harmony again, Dr. Chen interjected. Captain, if we can synchronize our quantum dispersion fields with their base frequency, we could help them stabilize, Maya finished. But we'd have to drop our defenses completely. If this is a trap. It's not, Chen insisted. These energy readings are real. They're terrified. Maya made her second crucial decision of the day. All ships, reconfigure quantum dispersion fields to synchronize with alien base frequency. Prepare to extend fields to maximum range on my mark. The human fleet moved into position around the alien flagship, their own quantum fields adjusting to match the alien's natural frequency. It was like trying to catch a tsunami with a fishing net, but it was their only chance. Fields synchronized, Carlos reported. Ready on your order. Maya took a deep breath. Execute. The space around the alien flagship lit up as 30 human ships extended their quantum fields, creating a web of stabilizing energy. The aliens, understanding what the humans were attempting, adjusted their own remaining ships to complement the effort. For the first time since the conflict began, humans and aliens worked together, their combined technology creating something neither species could achieve alone. A quantum harmony that gradually brought the overloading matrix back under control. As the crisis subsided, a new message came from the alien flagship, clearer this time. Gratitude. We understand now. You are not what we thought. Maya smiled grimly. Neither are you. Perhaps it's time we actually talk to each other. The battle had reached its breaking point, but not in the way either side had expected. As human and alien ships hung together in space, their quantum fields still intertwined, both species faced a startling revelation. They had fundamentally misunderstood each other from the very beginning. The real question now was whether they could move past their initial mistakes and find a way forward together. The next few hours would determine whether this day would be remembered as the beginning of a war or the start of something far more significant. 6 hours after the quantum crisis, Captain Maya Patil found herself in an unprecedented situation. The command deck of the TSS Phoenix had been converted into a makeshift first contact center, its quantum fields carefully tuned to allow safe material transfer between human and alien environments. The alien commander, who introduced themselves as Nexus Guide Zarel, stood before them. A crystalline being that seemed to shift between solid and energy states. Their translator device, now properly calibrated, converted their quantum vibrations into clear speech. "We must apologize," Zarel said, their form rippling with what the humans had learned to recognize as emotional distress. "We grievously misinterpreted your species. Our probe's initial scan of your Europa station detected quantum manipulation technology, but at a level we associated with weapons development." Dr. Sarah Chen, who had insisted on being present, leaned forward. "Because that's how your species developed it. As a weapon?" "No." Zarel's form pulsed with a different frequency, one that their cultural experts had begun to recognize as ironic amusement. "Because we couldn't imagine any species developing quantum technology without first mastering its harmonious applications. When we detected your crude but effective manipulations, we assumed you must be an aggressive species that had somehow stolen or salvaged advanced technology." Admiral Martinez, attending via quantum-secured transmission, couldn't hide her surprise. "You attacked because our quantum technology was too primitive." "We attacked because it was impossible," Zarel corrected. "Your species developed quantum manipulation through brute force and experimentation, creating functional technology without understanding the underlying harmonies. It would be like finding a civilization that built spacecraft without first discovering metallurgy." "Human ingenuity," Dr. Wong said quietly. "We've always had a talent for finding unconventional solutions." The alien commander's form shifted to a frequency indicating agreement. "We understand that now. Your response to our attack demonstrated this clearly. While our civilization spent millennia perfecting quantum harmonics, your species developed a dozen different ways to achieve similar results through what our scientists would consider impossible methods." Maya thought about the repurposed mining ships, the inelegant quantum disruption devices, and all the other improvised solutions humanity had created in response to the crisis. "We had to adapt to survive," she said simply. "And in doing so, you showed us something we had forgotten." Zarel responded. "The value of imperfection, of chaos within order. When our quantum matrix began to collapse, our perfect harmonies became our weakness. But your species' understanding of controlled chaos saved both our fleets." Admiral Martinez spoke up again. "So where do we go from here? Our species clearly have much to learn from each other, but there's also the matter of the lives lost at Europa Station." "We propose an exchange," Zarel said. "We will help your species understand true quantum harmonics, and in return, we wish to learn your methods of adaptation and innovation. As for Europa," their form darkened with regret, "we offer any reparations your species deems appropriate." The negotiations continued for hours, but the fundamental understanding had already been reached. Two species, each believing they had understood the universe in their own way, had discovered that their differences could be their greatest strength. 1 month later, the first joint human-alien research facility was established in Europa's orbit, built on the site of the destroyed station. Scientists from both species worked together, combining human ingenuity with alien harmony to create technologies neither species could have developed alone. Captain Maya Patel stood with Dr. Chen on the Phoenix's observation deck, watching the construction. "Do you think we'll ever fully understand each other?" she asked. Sarah smiled, holding up a device that combined human and alien quantum technology in ways that defied both species' previous assumptions about what was possible. "I think that's missing the point," she said. "It's our differences that make us stronger together. Perfect understanding isn't nearly as valuable as perfect cooperation." In the space around them, human ships flew in formation with alien vessels, their quantum fields harmonizing in ways that would have seemed impossible just months ago. It was a powerful reminder that sometimes the greatest discoveries come not from finding what you expect, but from being willing to embrace the impossible. The incident that had begun as a tragic first contact had evolved into something unprecedented, a partnership between two species that approached the universe from completely different perspectives. Together, they were beginning to unlock secrets that neither civilization could have discovered alone. As Maya watched a group of human engineers excitedly discussing quantum harmonics with their crystalline counterparts, she realized that humanity had gained something far more valuable than advanced technology. They had found a way to turn potential enemies into allies, fear into understanding, and conflict into cooperation. The stars seemed brighter somehow, full of new possibilities. The universe, it seemed, had room enough for both harmony and chaos, for perfection and innovation, for aliens and humans working together to explore its endless mysteries.